Today I want to discuss how to purchase a motorcycle from a dealership. Currently, the making of this video is 2025 and we are in the middle of a motorcycle market crash, evidenced by this little whiteboard over here. We are in a buyer's market, if you will. I'm going to discuss what I've used. I just purchased a motorcycle and I want to let you know what my tactics are, my opinions, and this is going to be focused on purchasing from a dealership, but I'll throw some nuances in there for private sales or used bike private sales. So, wow, it's freaking magnetic. Wow. So focus here, people, focus. You need to be model specific. Figure out what model you want. It's the first thing you need to do. You need to be flexible on color and options. I know everybody wants a specific color and all these options, but sometimes getting the bike at the right price, you may have to make some concessions. Colors these days are limited and hard to get unless it's a brand new model. We'll discuss that. And then avoid chasing shiny objects, so upsells and things like that. If the dealer's got a better option for a base model versus a special model, maybe you want to stick to the base model, you can get a better price. That's where you want to start wondering where you're going to spend your money. If you want a good deal, maybe that base model is better. Maybe the special model is better. They can't get it off the lot. I would make those decisions, but focus is the thing. Find out what model you want. Maybe ask the question of the dealership, which one do you want to sell more? What are you going to make the best deal for me on? And like I said, don't let them have you chasing shiny objects like other models and things like that. So you need to do your research before you go out there and start purchasing a motorcycle, and we'll get more in depth to that. We need to know what is on the market in your area for the motorcycle you're looking for, both new at dealerships and possibly in some certain circumstances used at dealerships and private sales. Know the used market around you, especially in a couple of instances that we'll talk about. You want to know what the used market is for the particular model that you have. And it's got to be year specific. You need to know about manufacturer discounts. Most dealerships will advertise those, however some won't, and that's why you want to visit as many dealerships as possible, and I'll get to that in a minute. And dealer incentives, so these are dealer-based incentives, not manufacturer-based incentives. In negotiations, reviews don't matter. You want the bike, the reviews don't matter. That's up to you. Find another bike if you want to, if you don't like the reviews. And also in some certain circumstances, know what your trade-in value. We'll discuss how to do that. The types of sales I want to focus on are new current model, new holdovers, that's my favorite, and used dealership sales. I will drop some comments about used private sales, but that's a separate video. And I don't want to get into that today because it'll make this video way too long. A couple of things. When you're calling dealerships, I'm going to get to that in a second, be polite. When you're dealing with the dealerships, be polite. Don't be a jerk. These guys are in business. They're just doing their jobs. And they're trying to get the best deal for their company just like you're trying to get the best deal for you. So, I've been on YouTube 15 years. I know what kind of people are out there, and I've sold motorcycles. I sold 2 motorcycles in the last 3 months, and people can be jerks. So just be polite. The more politer you are, probably the better deal you're going to get. I don't have a chart for this particular point. This is just a prop. I had it in the garage, so I figured I'd use it. But you want to call the dealerships. You don't want to go in, because if you go in, that's when they've got you. They're going to keep you there. They're going to keep you there for hours and wear you down. Make phone calls, and I'll explain how to do that here. you really want to call and ask for a sales manager. You don't want to talk to a salesperson. Those guys are just like, you know, the hostess at the local Arby's or Applebee's. They're not really the person you're going to make a deal with. Tell them, I would like a call back from the sales manager. I want to purchase a motorcycle today or tomorrow, but I want to purchase a motorcycle. I have the means, methods, I have no, stop there. I have the means and methods to purchase a motorcycle today or tomorrow. The other thing you want to do, important, and I should have it on the whiteboard here because it's critical. You don't want to purchase a motorcycle the first week of a month. You want to purchase a motorcycle within the last week of the month. Closer to the end of the month, the better, because that's when their sales goals are due, and especially in our 2025 market crash, that is very critical. You can get your best deal within the last few days of a month. As I discussed before, you want to know your market. Now for me, I am on the internet all the time looking at all kinds of different motorcycles. I'm constantly shopping. It's an addiction, just like riding motorcycles. I know the used market and I know the new market within a 500-mile radius. I live in the Southwest. It's easy to get around here. My comfort zone for driving to and from in a day is 500 miles. You want to find in your local area, and I know some local areas don't have a lot of dealerships, maybe not the type. If you're looking at Moto Guzzi's or something like that, you may have a small amount. However, you can still use that to your advantage, something that may be outside of your area. I would like to see, and what I did is finding 5 dealerships. That's a good amount. You want to use all of these. You find your model at each one, find the stock number of each one. So you're going to eventually call 3 of these folks. You're going to take 3. You need a minimum of 3. Maximum, you can have as many as you want, but I like 5 as a maximum. But you're going to want at least 3 to play them off of each other. You're going to call in one day. You're going to take the day off. You're going to take a Saturday, and you're going to call 3 dealerships. I'm going to buy a motorcycle from you from dealer 1, 2, and 3. I know stock number 656832 and whatever it is at 5 and 3, dealer 5 and 3. You're going to call them, give them the stock number. This is the bike I want. I want to purchase this bike today. Do you want to sell this bike today, or do you have a same model that you want to get rid of? You really want to take a look at that and research this. And when you start your negotiations, you're going to tell one of these 3 dealers, not only am I know that how many of these bikes are in the area, there may be 15. In my case, there was 8. There's 8 2024 holdovers of my bike within a 500-mile radius. And that gets their attention. Now this guy knows what he's talking about. So this is going to tell you, or tell them, that you know what you're doing. You know the stock numbers of these folks, and you're talking directly, and you really want to talk directly to the sales manager. That will cut down your time, effort, and you'll be talking to somebody who's actually making the deal. Part of your finances may include a trade-in. I wrote this last and it should have been first. You want to do an info sheet. When you call up the dealership, you're going to want to tell them right away, I have a trade-in. It's going to be part of this deal. You want to do that up front because it's going to save you a little bit of swerving and stuff like that. Don't tell them anything else of how you're going to finance this thing. So you want to be up front because this is going to take up some of your time, and you want to get it out of the way right away. Tell them I have a PDF info sheet for you. You want to have clear pictures. You want to take the pictures low, have a plain background and no peeps. They don't want to see the bikini-clad woman that you met at Daytona Bike Week last week with her butt all over your seat. All they want to see is some nice low pictures of your bike that show detail of your bike. You want to maybe remove bags, make sure stickers are off, goofy things like skulls and stuff like that, take them off of your bike. You want to keep the bike as clean as possible. Clear pictures, and you want to have an info sheet that's very basic. Simple statement of what it is: year, mileage, model. Options, they're not going to get you any dollars, but they make the incentive for them better. If you've got a bike that's been smashed really hard, especially in the case of Harleys and cruisers, if it's been smashed really hard with a Kuryakin hammer, that may affect value and bring that down. But you're going to want to tell them about saddlebags or, you know, bark busters on this bike, that kind of thing. You're going to want to state the last service, last tire mileage and batteries. You want to clean the bike. You want to make sure that thing is pristine as possible. If you're in that 90 percentile, woo, that freaking magnet's killing me. If you're in the 90 percentile, let's use this end. If you're in the 90 percentile, none of that should go to the dealership. You should not be talking to the dealership if that thing is in the 90 percentile of tires, of oil, because you're just going to, just know you're going to take a really big hit if those tires are at 90%, because that dealership has now got to pay his folks to go do that. If it's something you can do yourself, slap a cheap set of tires. They don't care what kind of tires they are or if they're good or not off-road. They just want to know that there's new tires on it. If it's something you can do, you can slap a set of Shinkos on it pretty cheap. Do that. If it's got a battery that's kind of failing, get a battery. It's 80 bucks. If your bike's worth a few $1,000s, it's worth the 80 bucks to get it sold quicker or get it traded in. This kind of applies to selling your bike too. If you're selling a used bike, this clear pictures, low statement of miles and all this stuff, just be, you know, great bike, it's awesome off-road, gets great reviews. Keep that kind of crap out of it. Just be simple and put as much information as there that's pertinent as you can. Have a clean bike. And then next is, if you know if it's a good deal for your trade-in, if it's out in front of the dealership the next day. See this picture here of my bike that was very next day out in front of the dealership. All right, this is where some feelings get hurt. You want to know, if you got a trade-in, you want to know the true value. This is an actual industry term. You want to know the true value of your trade-in. And you're going to have to determine that. In this market, you're going to take some lumps. And that's a seesaw. Either your trade-in is going to be worth less and, you know, the bike is going to be worth less. So in a good market, both are going to be worth more. In a down market, both are going to be worth less. So you're both taking hits here. It depends on, you know, you got to put your feelings out of it and make some business decisions. Put your big boy pants on or big girl pants on. You want to search the local classifieds in that same diameter or same radius, whatever you used. And you're going to want to make some notes for yourself and during negotiations with the dealership. And there's some point you want to kind of sidestep the negotiation of any line item, and I'll talk about that later. You want to look at time on market, because if you look at Craigslist or Cycle Trader or Facebook Marketplace, you want to look at the time on market and what their listing price is. Keep an eye, if you've got the time, you do it for a month or so and see how long these things, you know, if they come off, if they've sold, that kind of thing. But you're going to want to pay attention to that. So actual listing price, you're not going to get the listing price from the dealership. I'm just telling you right now, in just about any market. Pricing services, you're going to want to look at pricing services, Kelley Blue Book, NADA, and actually when you put NADA in, and you're going to get JD Power. JD Power is the best. You actually put your zip code in and it gives you typical listing price, and it is pretty close to reality. And you want to look at trade-in versus load retail. That'll kind of give you, you know, kind of give you an idea. I don't think most of these, all of these don't do a low retail. You want to look at trade-in value, and you're going to probably be about 10% less than trade-in value in a tough market. Some pay services, what the dealership's going to look at is they're going to look at auction prices, because that's kind of where they're going with it, especially if it's an older bike. But that's what they're going to want to negotiate to. And there's a low value and a high value. If your bike is serviced like I talked about before, and it's in good shape and you've provided them good information, you should be able to get over high auction value. But you don't want to spend too much time negotiating on any line item that we talk about a little bit from now. So you want to get your, you can provide, or you can pay for a service and they'll give you true value and or the auction value of your bike. I think they're like 50 bucks. I think the 50 bucks is probably better spent on some type of service item like oil change or air filter, that kind of thing. And right now it's a tough market, so you're going to have to take some lumps on your trade-in. Okay, after all this research, all this talking with the dealership, again, be professional, be polite. Everybody's just doing their job here, and everybody's trying to get the best deal for themselves. That's all you got to remember. After all this, you're going to come up to what matters most, the sales agreement. Now, most people will tell you, and I've looked at all kinds of videos and read a lot of information on negotiating vehicle purchases, and they'll tell you this is the important one, or setup and delivery, you need to negotiate all these line items. The only thing that's going to do is get you upset, get them upset, and it's going to drag you down to a negotiating vortex. What you need to do before you do any of this is know what your budget is. How much do you want to pay in cash or financing? This is the only number, the total out the door number, because this trade-in is going to hurt your feelings. The silly fees are going to hurt your feelings. You're going to tell them, I'm going to give you $10,800 today, or I'm going to give you my trade-in and $10,800 today. This is the only number you want to negotiate, and that's it, period. This is the number that you need to decide way before you start any of this. What is my budget? What is a sane budget for me? And a lot of people take loans out and things like that, and they go way beyond their means, and that's a whole nother video. But you need to know up front, what's my walk-away number? And this is where you go, right here. And if the guy can't get it to there on the phone, I'm done. I'm going to go to the next dealership. I've got 3 other dealerships lined up. I'm negotiating with them right now. And you may have a number from another dealership that may be $200 higher for this, and you may be thinking about that one. Tell this guy that you're at $10,800. I've got another dealership that's I'm still negotiating with, that's $11,000. What are you going to get me this today, or are you going to let me walk away for 200 bucks? When you're at this point, their finance department is geared up. Finance gets really mad when the sales agreement is put in and they've wasted their time helping the salesman or the sales manager put this together. They get strikes once they get to this point. So you're in a good position to negotiate to your number. And you've got to be honest about it. You're not going to get some super big deal. You've got to, beyond the manufacturer's discounts, the dealer's got to have some skin in the game. That's the way I look at it. If they're just giving you manufacturer's discounts, that ain't enough, but you've got to be realistic too. They can't just give the bike away. They've got things that they've got to pay for. And as much as people complain about it, there are delivery and setup charges. They're ridiculous, but like I said, let's not negotiate dumb things like that. Let's negotiate your real price. If you're having trouble getting to this price, financing may be an option. Financing may be part of this thing, but don't tell them until you're gotten to this number. You may be able to get to this number. If you're having trouble getting there, say, if I finance it, what is your, I have to look it up, and I'll put it in the, I think it's like the loan pay or something like that. The dealership gets paid so many dollars when they finance something from the bank. The bank kicks them money back. Find out what that is. That may help you to get to this number if you're not financing. If you are financing and you're working to this number, make sure it gets put in there. That is going to be a crucial thing. Financing, and if you're adding it in and you don't really want to finance, but it's going to kick you in some more money, make sure that it can have an early payoff without penalties. But again, this is the key to all I'm telling you today is this is the number you want to negotiate, not any other number. All right, everybody's done that thing with a baby, with the keys. See the keys? You want to play with the keys? Let's stop crying, play with the keys. All right, everybody's done that with a baby, and that's kind of what I'm here. Watch out for the shiny keys because they're going to try to upsell you on model. They're going to try to upsell you on accessories and warranty. Watch out for these. This is where dealers make their money, especially like throw-ins that are meaningless, clubs, discount plans, maintenance plans. These are all geared towards the dealership and really don't do anything for you. They just, with this thing here at the end, just as a goodwill gesture, they threw in some VIP, dealership VIP plan, which you get a discount if you use them to install all your accessories. You get like 10% discount. I can get a 10% discount online and install it myself cheap. So stuff like that is meaningless. Finance rates, pay attention to finance rates and selling you on monthly payments. This is the biggest downfall of most people. They look at the monthly payments and they pay for the rest of their lives for their bike, and it's ridiculous. You pay 10 times as much for the bike. Don't do that. And gear discounts are dumb too. Usually you can find good deals online, especially at the end of the season. So anything like this that you can come up with, watch out for those keys dangling in front of your face. Some final words. Good luck in your hunting adventures. Enjoy your new bike if you're so lucky enough to get one. And please ride safe. Enough of my friends have gotten hurt this year. Please be aware, be prepared, and be vigilant when you're out riding. Riding season's coming up for you, a lot of you folks. Riding season never ends here in Arizona. So I appreciate you watching. Thanks for watching. Adios.